Imagine dedicating 15 long years of your life to a company, pouring your sweat, passion, and expertise into every single project, building a career, a reputation, and frankly, your entire financial stability. Then, one day, you get that call, or that meeting, it's over. And just when you're reeling from the shock, the ultimate slap in the face lands. We won't be offering any severance. You've heard whispers of golden parachutes and seen news stories about generous packages. So naturally, a burning, almost furious question hits you. Is that even legal? The truth, for many long-term, loyal employees, is often a brutal awakening, a reality they face completely unprepared. If you've just been let go, or if the thought of it keeps you up at night, stick around. Because what your employer really owes you might not be what you think, and what they don't owe you could be even more surprising, potentially leaving you in a financial freefall. The severance myth, unpacking the hard truth. So, let's cut straight to the chase and dismantle one of the biggest misconceptions about job termination. Is severance pay a legal requirement in the United States? The simple, often brutal, answer is a resounding no. Despite what you might see in Hollywood movies, or hear through the corporate grapevine, the U.S. Department of Labor is unequivocally clear. There's no federal law, like the Fair Labor Standards Act, that mandates severance pay. This means, in the vast majority of scenarios, an employer can legally dismiss you without offering you a single dime of severance. It's a harsh reality to confront, especially after more than a decade of loyal service. But understanding this fundamental legal principle is your first step. However, before you feel completely defeated and hit that panic button, know this doesn't mean you're entirely out of luck. There are crucial details you must check, and factors at play that could change everything, potentially putting thousands of dollars back in your pocket. Your secret weapon, the buried contract clauses. Before you throw in the towel and accept what feels like an unfair fate, there's one document, often overlooked, that could be your ultimate weapon: your original employment contract. Think back 15 years ago, to your very first day on the job. Remember signing that stack of papers, probably in a rush, eager to start. Most of us skim over those lengthy agreements, focusing on salary and benefits. But hidden within those pages, or perhaps within an accompanying employee handbook or policy document, could be a clause specifically addressing severance pay upon dismissal. If your contract or any company policy you explicitly received and acknowledged states that severance will be provided under certain conditions, perhaps based on years of service or specific termination scenarios, then that is a legally binding agreement. Your employer must honor it. This isn't charity. It's a contractual obligation. So, right after watching this, take action. Dig out those old offer letters, meticulously review your HR portal, or formally request copies of all your original employment documents and company policies related to termination. This is your first, and often most powerful, line of defense against an employer who claims they owe you nothing. Beyond the contract, unwritten rules, leverage, and negotiations. But what if your contract is silent on severance? Are you truly out in the cold, left with no recourse? Not necessarily. Even without explicit legal or contractual obligation, many companies, especially larger ones, have employee-sponsored plans or established internal policies for severance. These might be less formal than a signed contract, but can still carry significant weight and create an expectation of payment. If you discover such a policy exists and you meet its eligibility criteria, yet you're being denied severance, you could consider reaching out to the Employee Benefits Security Administration (EBSA). They specialize in protecting employee benefits and can help you navigate the process if a company plan is in question. And here's a critical, often overlooked, strategy for anyone being dismissed, particularly after a long and dedicated tenure: the separation agreement negotiation. Even if severance isn't owed by law or contract, a company might be very willing to offer it in exchange for you signing a document that waives your right to sue them later. This is a common and powerful tactic for employers to protect themselves from potential lawsuits, such as claims of wrongful termination, discrimination, or retaliation, if there is any perceived legal risk to the company, perhaps due to the circumstances of your dismissal, your age, or your protected class status, or if you held a senior position with access to sensitive information. This is where you gain significant leverage for negotiation. Do not underestimate this power. Consult with an employment lawyer before signing anything. Their expertise can be invaluable in understanding your leverage and securing the best possible package. What they absolutely owe you. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, while severance may often be discretionary, there are non-negotiable financial obligations your employer must fulfill by law. These are your undeniable rights. First and foremost, your final paycheck. You are legally entitled to every single penny you've earned up to your very last day of employment. This isn't a gift, a courtesy, or a negotiation point. It's your hard-earned wages, period. Second, and equally important, is the payout of any accrued, unused vacation time. This is a big one that many employees forget about or assume they lose. In most states, if you've accumulated vacation days, your employer is legally required to pay them out to you. The specific laws and the timing of these payments can vary significantly by state. For instance, in sunny California, if you're fired, your final pay, including all unused vacation, must be issued immediately on your last day. But if you're in Arizona, they have a little more leeway, with the law stating within 7 working days or on your next regularly scheduled payday, whichever comes first. So, do your homework. Research your specific state's laws regarding final paychecks and vacation payout to ensure you get what's rightfully yours promptly and in full. Busting more myths. 2 weeks' notice and health insurance. Let us quickly clear up a couple more pervasive myths that cause a lot of confusion and anxiety during terminations. You often hear about 2 weeks' notice, whether it's you giving it when you resign or your employer giving it when they fire you. But here's the often shocking truth. In most at-will employment states across the U.S., 2 weeks' notice is generally not a legal requirement for either side. It's a common professional courtesy, a standard business practice, but it's rarely a legal obligation unless explicitly stated in your contract. The same goes for payment in lieu of notice, or P-loan, which is when a company pays you for a notice period you didn't actually work. Like 2 weeks' notice, P-loan is generally not a legal requirement unless it's specifically detailed in your employment contract. What about health insurance? This is a major concern for anyone losing their job. Unfortunately, your employer is typically not legally obligated to continue paying for your health coverage after your employment ends. However, there's a federal lifeline. Under the Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act (COBRA), if your employer has 20 or more employees, they usually must offer you the option to continue your health plan for a limited time, typically 18 to 36 months. The massive catch: you'll be paying the full premium yourself, plus an administrative fee, and it can be incredibly, sometimes prohibitively, expensive. It's a bridge, but often a very costly one. The strategic reasons companies offer severance: it's not always kindness. So, if severance is a legal mandate, why do many companies, particularly large corporations, still offer it, sometimes generously, even up to a full year's salary? While it certainly helps cushion the blow for the departing employee, and yes, there can be an element of goodwill, the main reasons are almost always strategic and self-serving from a business perspective. By offering a solid severance package, companies can achieve several critical objectives. Legal protection. This is paramount. Severance agreements almost invariably come with a legally binding release of claims. This means you, as the former employee, agree not to sue them later for wrongful termination, discrimination, retaliation, or any other past issues. It's a calculated exchange. Money for legal peace of mind, reputation management, and talent acquisition. A company that treats its former employees well, even in dismissal, is far more likely to maintain a positive employer brand. This can make it easier to attract top talent in the future and helps avoid damaging negative press or internal morale issues among the remaining workforce. Smooth transitions and risk mitigation. Providing financial stability for the departing employee can make their transition easier, reducing potential resentment, anger, or even acts of sabotage. A happy ex-employee is less likely to badmouth the company, leak sensitive information, or disrupt the remaining workforce. Maintaining trade secrets. For high-level employees, severance might be tied to non-disclosure or non-compete agreements, further protecting company interests. Your next steps. Know your worth. Protect your future. Being let go after 15 years is not just a job loss. It's a significant life upheaval, a challenging and deeply emotional experience that impacts your identity, routine, and financial future. While severance is a guaranteed right, understanding your specific situation, meticulously reviewing all your employment documents, and knowing your state's laws are absolutely crucial. You are undeniably entitled to your final paycheck and any accrued vacation pay. Ensure you get these promptly. If you suspect any form of illegal termination, such as discrimination based on age, gender, race, or religion, or retaliation for reporting misconduct, that's a completely different legal battle, and you should immediately consult an employment lawyer. They can assess the strength of your case and guide you on potential legal action. Moving forward, let this experience be a stark, powerful lesson when you're looking for your next role. Don't just focus on salary, job duties, and standard benefits. Make sure you understand the company's policies on severance and termination before you sign anything. Ask direct questions. Knowing these crucial details up front can save you a world of pain, financial distress, and uncertainty down the line, ensuring you're prepared, no matter what tomorrow brings.